We set off for Teriet High Altitude Training Center. The roadworks are still way off and getting to the place is as hard as it gets. When Moses Kipsiro won double gold at the 2010 Commonwealth Games in New Delhi, India, President Museveni sanctioned the construction of the high altitude. A decade on from the first promise, the progress report looks shabby. Fred Cherich, a long-distance running coach, tells us the delay in the setting up of the facility has not stood Ugandan athletics in good stead.
We may have had more gold medals in the region and in Uganda generally, but because of the lack of training facilities like the high altitude training center not being complete, it has really hindered more success and more gold medals that we are supposed to be having here.
National athletics coach Benjamin Njia says the government should do everything remotely possible to bring training facilities in Sebei sub-region to international standards.
They can come in so that we can have KAPCHORWA bomber ground to help facilitate these young athletes and even the state of our roads. That's why also I was trying to appeal our local government here in KAPCHORWA or the national level to ensure that maybe to help work on these roads. You saw this morning that we are using the tarmac. So if these local roads are put into a fair tarmac, not tarmac, maram, athletes can have access because this side is so much rainy.
Delay in the setting up of the Teriet High Altitude Training Center has actually seen some athletes roll up the sleeves and get to work themselves. This facility is owned by 10,000 meters world champion Joshua Cheptegei, a sign that the High Altitude Training Center is badly needed. The ball is now in the court of government to make sure that the work is quickly done, because it's been 8 years and counting, ever since Stephen Kiprotich won the 2012 Olympics gold medal and the promise was made for a high altitude training center in the country. With government dragging its feet, elite athletes like Joshua Cheptegei have moved to set up facilities of their own. You're putting up a training camp right near the high altitude training center. Is it going to be open for Uganda athletes as well? And is it also down to frustration that the Teriet high altitude training center is actually taking long?
I had the dream of building my own training center where I can inspire and where I can train the young athletes. So my main target is to nurture the young athletes. For them, it's not healthy to train on a dirt track or in a model track. So the best they can train is on a maram track or maybe on a grass track.
Cheptegei also tells us why the facility will also be of benefit to elite athletes.
Even for us, the elite athletes, it's really healthy to, and it's also less risky when you train on the maram track because it's soft. But then the dirt track or the mountain track, it becomes so hard, and when you are training 3 times in a week on it, then I'm sure you will have tender problems.
The benefits of high altitude training have never been in question. Long distance races have been dominated by athletes who come from regions that are actually high altitude. The science and biology of why that is so is what Coach Fred Cherich is explaining now.
For the case of the long distance athletes like Kiprotich, Cheptegei, Joshua, why they are winning is because when they train from the high altitude environment, they get more red blood cells. The more red blood cells will pick the little oxygen within the environment. So when they can compete in the low land areas where there is more oxygen, they have an upper hand of winning the races because they have more red blood cells that can pick the much oxygen which is on the low land areas.
Clearly, the story of training facilities in Sebei sub-region is not a heartwarming one. As Uganda looks to establish itself as a distancing running powerhouse, the verdict is that the government ought to pull its socks up. Felix Manyindo, NTV Sport.